Coming up on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports, we're talking about the Kareem Hunt visit as he did visit with the Minnesota Vikings. We're also be talking about Dalton Risner, latest update on him, especially with Ed Ingram kind of struggling during the Seattle Seahawks preseason game. We're just going to kind of talk about what the Vikings could do to kind of improve that guard spot. And then also, we're just going to kind of show Jordan Addison some love on the back half of today's video because I thought he looked fantastic during the first preseason game versus the Seahawks. I thought he lived up to every single expectation that we had for him. We know he's been playing very, very well during Minnesota Vikings training camp, and he definitely looked the part during the first game. My name is Patrick Siepman. Welcome in, and before we dive into it, guys, make sure you lock us in. Hit that subscribe button. Free, easy way to help us out here. It's my off day, and I'm just itching to talk about the Minnesota Vikings. So whatever it is, news, rumors, any piece of information around the Vikes, we will be your go-to channel. Free, easy way. Hit that sub button and lock us in. All right, enough of that. Let's break down the Kareem Hunt visit. He did visit with the Minnesota Vikings. A little shocking to me. I'm even shocked that they entertained bringing in Kareem Hunt. I'm kind of in the camp of no. Like, I'll just make this pretty short and sweet on Kareem here. Listen, he was good in Cleveland. Last year was his worst year. He had only averaged around 3.8 yards per carry when Nick Chubb averaged over 5 yards per carry running behind the same offensive line. So Kareem Hunt, like, he's a solid back. Like, listen, I wouldn't be upset if they brought him in for like a 1 year, $2 million deal. Like, it's always good to have kind of more legs in that locker room. But, like, I would just rather have most of these touches go to Mattison and Ty Chandler. I think Mattison and Ty Chandler are going to make one of the better 1-2 punches in the league this year that not many people are talking about. Like, they finally have this opportunity with Dalvin Cook finally leaving the Minnesota Vikings. Like, I think those two guys are hungry, and I think they can live up to, the expectations that at least I'm putting on them because I believe in their talent. I believe in what they are just both about. And, like, we saw it in the first preseason game. Ty Chandler looked great. Like, Ty Chandler, like, I know the numbers didn't, like, blow anybody away. He only ran for, like, 41 yards, had about 30 or something through the air. But, like, he looked elusive. He was making people miss. The amount of missed tackles he had, like, he just looked the part, too. So, I would kind of rather the Vikings focus on those two guys and developing Mattison and Ty Chandler, kind of to stay away from Kareem Hunt. Like, I just don't really see the, benefit of doing this. Like, if you're going to bring in somebody else for this 53-man roster, like, why not have it be another corner? Why not have it be another defensive lineman after this James Lynch injury? So I don't expect the Vikings to sign Kareem Hunt. I'm really even curious why they brought him in. But even if, like, let's just say you do bring him in, what are you going to keep? Mattison, C.J. Ham, Ty Chandler, Kene Nwangwu, Kareem Hunt? You're going to keep 5 running backs and have to cut Dwayne McBride? Like, I just don't really see this being too likely that the Vikings officially sign him. But, if they do, we'll get you guys a video for that ASAP. But my plan, or my kind of stance on this, pass on Kareem Hunt. But you guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comment section if you guys would want to sign Kareem Hunt. Just give me an S for sign or give me a P for pass. Now let's talk about Ed Ingram and kind of connect this to Dalton Risner, because Ed Ingram struggled a little bit during the Seattle Seahawks preseason game, and it was a little concerning to me. Just obviously him going into his second year, and he was the definition of a roller coaster last season. Like, he would have really, really good games, or not great. I would say good games, not great games. Like, he would have really, really solid games. You're like, oh, he's a serviceable right guard in the league. And then he would have other games where he just gets ragdolled. And he got beat a couple times. There's this one play, I swear, it almost looked like Ed Ingram just stepped to the side and let him through. Like, I was like, dude, come on, what are you doing? But, I don't know. I just think, like, maybe the Vikings, if they want to reach their max potential with this roster this season, I think Dalton Risner might be a must. There's been no real update about him. The only update we actually have is he's been liking a bunch of tweets about him wanting to come to or about Vikings fans tweeting out like, oh, you should bring in Dalton Risner, and he's been liking those tweets. So that's like the real update, that clearly there's interest on his side of things. We'll just see if the Vikings, want to match his interest and, give him a contract sheet. But I would bring him in. I mean, he's a not tremendous pass blocker. He's a middle of the pack pass blocker, okay in the run game as well. He would just overall be an upgrade over Ed Ingram. So I say, why not bring in a guy like Dalton Risner, veteran guy, second-round pick, tons of talent. Like, he was picked 41st overall in that draft. But, Dalton Risner, it seems like he wants to be a Viking. So I wouldn't be opposed to that whatsoever. Yeah, I just think the Vikings need to do something at that guard spot. Because, like, I like Ezra Cleveland, but even he's up and down. I just feel like the Vikings also with this line, I feel like it's not really that deep. Like, I did feel like their offensive line struggled a lot against Seattle, especially in that second half with the backups unit, and that's going to happen. I mean, we've seen around the whole NFL during this first kind of slate of preseason. It's like, I feel like the defensive linemen in the league are so far ahead of offensive linemen. So like when you get to the backup units for both groups, like I feel like most backup defensive linemen kind of play at like a starter level. Like they are very, very talented. But like backup offensive linemen, just around the whole league, I feel like D lines have been absolutely dominating as of late. Just from what my eyes are telling me, and honestly what the numbers are telling me as well from the preseason so far. So Dalton Risner, we know interior pressure obviously affects Kirk Cousins. You know, those immobile quarterback, the stats you guys like just hang in the pocket. I would be in on bringing in Dalton Risner. I just think maybe the Vikings are kind of debating how much they want to pay him, and maybe they want to lock him up for like a 2-year deal or something. Who knows? So we'll wait and see. I hope if they do bring him in, get this done sooner rather than later, just because get him that continuity with Garrett Bradbury, with Brian O'Neill on that right side of that offensive line, because I think guys, Ed Ingram didn't look good. So bringing that veteran kind of consolidate some assets here, and I don't even think it would cost you that much. We'll make this comparison though. Similar vibes to the J.C. Treader thing last offseason when everybody was like, why isn't J.C. Treader signed? And it turns out like his back problems, he ended up just retiring. So maybe something similar with Dalton Risner's going on, but yeah, we'll see on that. Any update that comes out besides him liking tweets, we will keep you guys posted. And then I kind of want to wrap up today's show talking about Jordan Addison and just kind of the Vikings receivers overall. I think I can make an argument right now that the Vikings have the best receiving core in the league. And I know a lot of people would be saying, like, oh, no way, there's Cincinnati, there's a bunch of these other teams. And I get it. Like, there's Cincinnati, what Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd do, it's hard to replicate. But the Vikings have a great big three as well. And I think Jordan Addison, I think he's going to have a tremendous year. Like, he already looks the part. And we've already seen these first-round rookies, especially at the wide receiver spot, they've been able to come in year one and be an impact immediately. Like, Jamar Chase, first year, Bengals went to the freaking Super Bowl. Like, Garrett Wilson last year was the number one option for the Jets, and he was great. We obviously know Justin Jefferson, how good he was in his rookie season. I think Addison, he looks the part, super fluid, man. Like, his feet are so sick. Like, it's disgusting watching him get in and out of routes. Like, and that toe tap swag on the sidelines that he had, that should have been a catch, by the way, but the refs were just trying to screw the Vikings. The refs are already in midseason form with that. But, Addison, I'm a big fan of his game. I think he's going to do great just picking on other teams' cornerback twos throughout the season. And, you have, add him with the combination of Hockenson at tight end with Josh Oliver. Josh Oliver, shout out to him. He looked like the best run-blocking tight end in the league, again, during the first preseason game against Seattle. So I think Addison, he's going to absolutely eat. I think he's going to have a big-time year for the Vikes. He just looks the part. Like, he lived up to every expectation I had on him. I think we kind of get too caught up in, during the NFL draft scouting, especially receivers, is like, at the end of the day, it's just about getting open, and Addison does that. Like, he's got great feet, great hands. Like, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, he's not the fastest, but he just gets open, and he's a great football player. So I think the Vikings made a tremendous pick there. I wanted them to originally go corner at 23, but I think they made the right pick. And if I had to say right now, Kwesi, I would give that pick an A+. Like, you had your guy Addison, and you went out and got him. Like, big fan. Big fan of Jordan Addison. I think he's have a great year. Hey, fantasy football wise, I take a shot on him. He's going to probably be second in target, or third or second in targets. Him and Hawk will probably duke it out for that. But yeah, he looked the part. And listen, I love KJ Osborne, one of my favorite players on this Vikings team. Addison's just a little better. Like, I wanted to say originally, like, KJ should get those wide receiver 2 reps just out of respect for him, but Addison, he's just a better player. KJ probably deserves it a little more just because of what he's put in for this team and everything, but sometimes it just comes down to who's the better football player, and I think that's just Jordan Addison. Super fluid, like I've been saying, nasty route runner, and just like the overall, like what Jefferson and Addison do so well is just create separation. Like, they're obviously, Jefferson's a great 50-50 guy as well. He's the best receiver in the league for a reason, but like Kirk is going to be able to, like, if he gets a clean pocket, the separation these guys are going to have with how accurate Kirk is, like, that's why I'm so excited for this Vikings offense in year 2 under Kevin O'Connell. That's also why buy Kirk some time. Go sign Dalton Risner. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's show. Touched on the Kareem Hunt visit. Touched on the Dalton Risner update of him liking tweets from other Vikings fans on Twitter about him wanting to be brought in. Then also finished it up talking about Jordan Addison, why I think he's going to dominate next season. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you guys enjoy your Sunday. Remember to hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time. SKOL Vikes.